Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Spring 2020. I'm Atlas, joined by LS, and it is T1 versus Afreeca time. This is what it's all come down to, and T1 now with their second place on the line. Afreeca not really fighting for anything. They're not going to be relegated, but they're not getting to playoffs unless something catastrophic happens. I think there might still be a little bit of a chance. Hang on a second. Let me double check this just to make sure.
Do some number crunches?
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen because they don't have enough points in order to get towards Damwon. And so they can win to get themselves up to 8, which will even out on the game score, the match score between themselves and Damwon, assuming Damwon loses to Sandbox in the coming match. However, they will never make it to the -2 points or ahead of a -2 if that does actually happen. So Afreeca are locked at 6th place. Their season is over. They're going to have to continue trying to make some improvements as we move towards summer. But for T1, this is all about getting ahead of Dragon X and skipping one of our gauntlet matches moving in towards finals. And their fate is not actually up to them. If Dragon X are able to get a win over APK, then they will be heading towards the final. So, heading towards the semi-final and waiting for either T1, KT, or Damwon, depending on who's going to get there. As we have a look at the points of the match, since first place is locked away, T1 is looking for second, and they needed 2-0 to get a spot in playoff round 2. They needed 2-0 because otherwise they're never going to be able to get ahead of Dragon X in points, but Dragon X can still lose to APK, so it won't be in their hands necessarily, but they'd be hoping and praying that APK do something amazing.
Yeah.
And Afreeca defeated T1. So they can theoretically win again.
Yeah, and Afreeca, they've really been slumping, struggling to find their stride. And T1, they've been also on... everyone's on a roller coaster, Atlas. That is what round 2 is in the LCK. Everyone's going through a little bit of turbulence except for KT, who was fighting really valiantly in round 2 to sort of make the Cinderella story. Yep. And last point of the match history, 2-10. Spirit feels small against Cuz, however, Dread is favoring in this matchup with a 7-4 record. Who will Afreeca field today? So, we'll be seeing what the rosters do have in store for us. T1 is starting things off on the blue side.
Yeah, we'll see whether they continue to find success on the blue side as well. The majority of their wins have been on the blue side with a 15-5 record. Their wins on the red side are 13-9, so much closer when it comes to that red side of the draft. So we'll see what T1's going to be able to do to shore up some victories here. I think a lot of it has to do with Teddy getting his hands on a powerful AD carry on the bottom side of the map. The Kalista first picks certainly have been coming in strong here for Teddy, who has a 75% win rate on that Kalista and close to a 10 KDA, so not bad at all. Having a look at the team stats here, win rate at 20 minutes for T1 is 10-1. So pretty likely to be winning if they win early, as our Team Gold at 20 on average is behind by 2,000 gold for Afreeca. Their round 2 stats have been abysmal at best. Yep.
As Afreeca, they're pretty often losing at 20 minutes, and we'll have to see what Keen can manage to do, if anything, because that's going to be the only lane that Afreeca should be able to find some sort of success in, is up and top. And then again, we'll see who they're fielding in terms of a full-on lineup. Win rate with gold lead at 20, 10-1. Not impressed, Atlas. I don't know why it's not just 11-0.
Well, especially when their champion kills per minute are lowest in the league. Certainly showing that T1 have been playing things out as slowly as possible. And we'll see whether that continues as we have a look at the lineups. No changes here. Not going to be running Elim in that jungle for T1. It's because they're going with their main roster to make sure that they can get as much success as possible. As Afreeca, are putting all in once again. Over Fly, he has been more successful in their recent matches. Being able to pick up some player of the games in their wins as well has been impressive. As Mystic and Jelly rounding out this roster with Spirit in over Dread, as you could expect. And this is going to be our key matchup. Keen with 31.4 of his team's damage from the top lane.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage. And his KDA, not the best. Generally, when your team is losing a lot, you won't have the best of KDAs. Kana, 5.8 first in top lane. Damage per minute, Keen is second inside the league. Damage percent first. in top as Kana fulfills a bit more of a mid-rangey supportive kind of role on the side of T1. CS Prince at 15, Keen is first as well, so Lane Kingdom is a thing that he is very good at making happen.
Yeah, and we'll see whether he can get on that priority champion as we hop into the draft for game number 1. Likely that we're going to see Keen's pick as last to make sure that he can be in that carry position as effectively as possible, as we'll see what T1 is going to be banning away as we get into this draft. The least taken away from Spirit is a pretty standard ban here up against Afreeca. In fact, if we look in on that stat, it is still sitting at 55%, and it is by far and away the most banned champion against the Afreeca Freecs, as they do take away the Chicken Man in the mid lane, and the Kalista banned away second here from T1. So looking for a different first pick by the looks of things, and maybe looking for something to nullify a top lane matchup or something like that.
Well, Afreeca now with the Ornn ban. They're going to remove that from the equation. Aphelios Senna, they are still on the table. Set as well. Another champion that teams do like to ban.
Yep, and you can see the Pantheon being taken away from All In. Certainly likes that champion a lot. Hasn't seen it be played too much over their recent games, but certainly have seen a few sporadic bans thrown around at Afreeca. And Aphelios is still available and will remain available, as Set is going to be the ban away here. Looks like Afreeca will be just trading for something like a Varus, but not going to happen, as T1 are going to snap that one up instead. The Varus priority exceeding that of the Aphelios here for T1 is interesting, to say the least. We'll see whether Afreeca are going to fall for it and head towards a Aphelios of their own. Jace is going to be locked in Spirit, thinking about the Trundle. And it just goes to show, not too much of a worry about that Aphelios now that the Varus has been locked in, because his world-famous Gragas would certainly be a good pickup here.
Well, the Gragas is being hovered, and it will be locked in for T1. So Afreeca's team composition, it's already going to be a bit more aggressive coming out the gate. In T1, they lock in the Lucian. And so that could be Lucian mid, it could be Lucian top, it could be Varus mid, Lucian bottom.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, exactly.
The Azir has been banned, so it's not like they're going to flex the Varus into an Azir matchup, which we see sometimes. But it looks like the Braum is going to be locked in. Mystic does love having a Braum support beside him. That's been the case ever since he was on WE. Just likes to have that guy with a door standing stalwart in front of his opposition. As we have a look at where the bans are going to head towards, and it looks like mid lane is going to be the focus. I think Afreeca are assuming that this solution was picked as a counter into the Jace, and it's likely that Keen is going to be playing that one.
And now Zoe is banned away by Afreeca, and so they don't want that to be on the menu. Now, if you're looking at T1's team composition, if you want them to go full-on Sinner, full-on aggro, you're thinking of something like LeBlanc. Is probably something that they could pick up. So we'll see if Afreeca accounts for that. Galio ban would signal that that might be on the agenda.
Yeah, and the LeBlanc could be picked up here by All In, but so far he's played 2 games on the champion and has lost both of them. So not likely going to be that power pick or anything like that. And the Taric is going to be banned here, so Afreeca will not actually consider the LeBlanc at all. Interesting, to be perfectly honest, because Faker is absolutely fantastic on that pick, has been for many, many years. Was, in fact, if you remember back, undefeated worldwide on that champion until 2015 MSI, where he was taken down by Pawn in that famous EDG victory. Very exciting stuff, as Mystic now is going to have that pick up, and interestingly, it's T1 that bans away the LeBlanc.
Well, that is definitely very surprising that T1 banned it away themselves. I guess they are worried if All In picks it up.
Okay.
But
this is interesting.
Yeah,
we are
Sivir
on the hunt. We are hunting.
So this is not a very normal LCK kind of draft. There is a lot of early game aggression as it currently stands. That might just be Alistar getting
just
locked
give me
in
Alistar
for effort.
Yasuo. Give us Alistar Yasuo. Do it. Give us Faker's Yasuo. That's what we want. That's what everyone wants. Come on. Collective, tell me. Is that what you want? You want Faker's Yasuo? I think we all want Faker's Yasuo. Give it to us.
It's not going to... Well,
It works,
I don't even want to say that
it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Akali is going to get locked in here. Most likely for Faker, and then that'll be Kana on the Lucian up in top lane. Most likely as Syndra. Now getting hovered as well.
Yeah, 5 seconds to go. Afreeca still need to make up their minds. A few different options here that they can go towards, but it looks like Syndra will be the option here for All In, and they do lock that one away. So All In taking the Syndra into the Akali matchup, and they do have a lot of mid-game, but it's this Sivir that's really standing out for the Afreeca Freecs, and whether the Sivir can get to a good position in the mid-game, that's going to be whether or not Afreeca are going to be able to play around a bottom side of the map that might just fall by the wayside. That being said, Alistar is not exactly a power laner in the early stages, certainly can follow up with ganks very, very well, but isn't going to be, able to control the lane or anything like that. And so we'll see what Afreeca can do with all of the wave clear that they will have available to them in that Sivir pickup.
Well, Afreeca, they have very strong lanes. The Syndra is favored against the Akali, but you'll often hear me talk about Syndra's that they pick Syndra just to wave clear on her and not really trade or live up to the thing that Syndra can be, which is just a lane kingdom monster. And so we'll see how All In manages to pilot it here against Faker's Akali. Jace versus Lucian. Jace has gotten some aid in recent patches, and this matchup is one that can swing either which way. It's a very volatile matchup, so paying attention to Spirit and Cuz in the early stages of the game is going to be really important for that. In terms of insurance policies, it's really hard for me to say because Gragas and Akali have such insane value against Afreeca, but at the same way, Sivir is really, really strong in the later stages against this T1 team composition.
Well, let's see what Mystic can do with this Sivir in his hands as we get onto the Rift for game number 1. T1 versus Afreeca. Can Afreeca retain their win record over T1 with a win here? Or will T1 actually find their revenge from that round 1 victory and situate themselves in second place, waiting to see what DRX can do up against APK? T1 want a 2-0. If they want second place, a 2-0 is their best chance to try and get there. I believe they have head-to-head over DRX. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong there, as having a look through. Match against Dragon X was a 2-0 and a 2-1. So they do have head-to-head over over Dragon X, meaning that if the game score is tied, then they should have the advantage there. So let's just see what T1 can do here. I do like the Sivir option here for Mystic. We'll just see whether he can make it work as we move towards the laning phase.
Well, Afreeca is started. I mean, everything is pretty safe in the early stages here, as Jace has the Electrocute as his rune, has the Taste of Blood, and Biscuits and Tonic is the other runes that he is going to be taking, as my stream froze, but I'm back.
Yeah, mine froze as well, but I'm also back.
Take it away,
Hopefully
Alice.
we didn't miss too much, I don't think, as a hail of arrows landed onto Mystic. And that's going to be that. Ricochet should be taken first here by the Sivir, so not going to be able to spell shield anything at this particular time. And Sivir has always been notorious at dealing with an Alistar, right? There are multiple things that you can do, but the idea is to wait on the spell shield and try and hit it at exactly the right time, where you soak the headbutt and then spell shield the pulverize. And it can be a minigame that a lot of players struggle with. But of course, Mystic is a seasoned Sivir veteran, and we'll see what he's going to be able to do here in this matchup.
And so these two team compositions, I think that they're really close overall. I would actually give the edge to Afreeca, but I think that because of the way that it's close and because of the individual ability on some of these champions, most notably the Akali and the Gragas, I'm gonna predict T1 to win this anyway, despite things that can happen. Taking a look at what Faker's saying, it's not over until it's over. The one who laughs last laughs best. I'll keep grinding to be the one laughing at the end of this spring as well.
Well, he's going to have to start winning here, because T1 have looked a little bit shaky in some of their recent matches. Having a look at the win rates so far, Canna is 1-0 on this Lucian. 9-3 is Cuz's Gragas. Certainly a power pickup for him, as you can see already inside the enemy jungle. Taking things away from Spirit. But Spirit is on the coveted Trundle pick that everyone has been enjoying. And having a look over the side of the Afreeca Freecs, Spirit, you can see, very happy on the Trundle, but Jelly not so much happy on this Braum. 1-4 so far. Mystic debuting his Sivir for this season, and Keen wanting to get back that win rate on the Jace. Of course, I believe only picking it up here in the second round, as Faker's going to come over and try and at least frustrate Spirit, but he's just going to clear out some vision and takes himself the Rift Scuttler very easily.
And Keen just doing a really good job with his spacing and overall lane control. Even manages to get the AoE there on Kana on the jump, and he's doing a really good job. Oh, I think he is cheatering.
Oh, I love it.
So,
look at this. Might be able to just walk back to the lane as well.
Oh, no,
there
he is. He's going to be able to walk back. He's going to have a freeze on his side of the map. Gragas isn't going to have any camps. This Jace is just executing a lane kingdom right now, and viewers that aren't familiar with what a cheater is, it's basically being able to get a recall off for free and come back with better battle stats, a really good lane state. And you can see Lucian, the ping going onto him, Kana is trying to shove, but Lucian can't really do it super quickly. And so now Jace is here, and let's see if Keen just lets the minions in or if he jumps forward and tries to hold them. Not going to try to hold them, but now the question is does Kana use his teleport, or does he run back to the lane? And even if he runs back, Jace caught everything, and now he's in control. He's cheated the teleport out of Kana.
Yeah, actually got that, and Canna actually wasting a bit of time there, so he's just going to teleport to the next wave, and you can see Keen is going to continue to have an advantage and a teleport advantage on top of that as well. So really nicely done here from Keen. We expect this from him. He's just a very good laning player. It's just whether or not the team can bring themselves up around him, and as 5 minutes ticks by, Afreeca have a slight edge when it comes to gold. It's largely to do with Spirit and Keen farming out very well. And in the mid lane, All In winning out on the range versus melee matchup. Bottom side of the map, though, Teddy is farming very, very well. As Keen just holding onto this minion wave very comfortably, as Cuz going to be clearing out his Krug camp. And as Spirit moves up towards the top side, he's going to help out by getting that control ward into that brush. And we'll make sure that Canna is going to be playing blind for the majority of this one. And that's all he needs to do, because now Keen can just win out this lane just by purely being a better player. And you can see that Canna walking on over, gets a control ward down of his own, just going to make sure that he's not snaked in from the side, as now Mystic in trouble. Effort underneath this turret. It's going to take a lot of turret damage, but it is going to be first blood going over to T1.
They end up getting the first blood right now, and Afreeca, they find some difficulty now on the bottom side of the map, and also even in mid lane, Faker doing really good in the CS department against All In on the Syndra. And another thing I wanted to point out about All In's rune choices, he had water walking on Sandra here in this game. Not really quite sure what that rune's all about, but taking a look at this.
I did like the spell shield, but unfortunately there were just too many boys in that lane.
And well, 6:30 in game. Mountain Dragon is live. First one.
It's actually 6:30 in Korea as well, PM.
Ooh,
so
the
that's
game
cool.
timer is lining up perfectly.
Yeah, 5 seconds ago it was exactly right. So there we go. That's the coolest thing that's happened so far in this game, apart from, I guess, that first blood. As All In, able to get a fair bit of damage down on the Faker here. We'll find the stun there also, as he's down to about 300. The Faker is going to survive for the moment. Afreeca moving on over, should be able to take this Mountain Drake. We'll see what the second one's going to be, and whether or not we're going to have that high chance for a Cloud Soul. Currently, Cloud Soul has the highest win rate as far as a Dragon Soul. I was having a look at some of these Soul stats that were tweeted at us. Very interesting statistically, as that stat needs to be updated now that the Ocean Soul has once again lost. It's not going to be quite at that 92% win rate that it did have, I believe, worldwide before today's matches. Spell Shield's going to pick up some extra mana there from the Piercing Arrow. And you can see Mystic able to shove back, had that teleport in order to get himself back into this lane to make sure that the lane state is not going to also fall by the wayside. And All In has just been clearing and shoving this wave over and over again. So ping pong continues, and the early game going to return to a bit of a quiet mode, as Mystic and Jelly just let that one cast creep go begging, and will allow T1 to clear out that wave.
as the game just continues to resume right now. Cloud Dragon coming up in 4 means that we should get an exciting dragon. And the way that everything's playing out, Keen's actually not managing to accrue a sizable enough advantage on this Jace. And Lucian and Jace, they're both going to end up fulfilling pretty much the same role in the later stages. And the thing that's scary, again, about T1's team composition is the Akali and the Gragas have such easy access to the Syndra and the Jace, and all the pressure comes down onto Mystic in the later stages of the game. All in, really struggling to find any sort of edge here. He's not even really getting turret damage. Effort runs through mid lane here on the Alistar, and everyone's just continuing to scale up. So, as it currently stands, not a whole lot of action. This is very, very slow early game.
And that is the T1 style. They are slow and steady, and that is what's going to win them the race. So, no surprises, as Keen playing very defensively up against Canna right now, understanding that there was an Alistar roaming up towards the top side, doesn't know that he has now gone back and is heading back towards the bottom side of the map. Shock Blast will be able to clear out that wave, though, as Keen is absolutely fine right here. Mystic might need to be a little bit more careful, as there is a cow and a burly gentleman heading down towards him, but I think that control ward should be able to give them vision, as Boomerang Blade is being thrown out on cooldown just to make sure that Mystic can pick up some of this farm. But as Teddy retains control of this lane, Mystic is looking to fall further and further behind.
Well, 2.5 minutes until Cloud Drake comes up, and we're in a little state, Atlas. There's not much else to really talk about in terms of what is happening.
Have you bought any Pokemon cards recently?
I didn't get any new ones. I did not. That did not happen, unfortunately.
As did that potential aggression there from Faker moving on into the enemy jungle. And All-In's not going to find the stun, so we're going to go back to the lull state continuing.
Yeah,
are you looking at any Pokemon cards as your next next official pickup?
I'm looking to finally get graded ones. I'm thinking about getting graded ones. I might open my Alpha Starter deck from Magic on stream. Cool. Planning to maybe do that. That'll be a nice opening.
Yep, nice little change up to the severe amount of League of Legends that you've been doing recently.
Yeah, that would be a little bit of a change. Not too much is really going on outside of that, though. Waiting for Pokemon in 2 months. That'll come out. Sort of like we're waiting for some action inside of this game. Rift Herald just looks like it's going to go over for free, so literally can't kill, living up to its name here.
Yep, Effort going to be wearing Wolf's skin there. Congratulations to Wolf, back on T1 now as a streamer and personality. A lot of his co-streams of the LCK have been really entertaining. Been great to be able to check in on his opinion. Of course, difficult as a non-Korean speaker. However, still, sometimes things get translated and we get a bit of an idea of what the mindset is from the Korean community via his certain outlook. So, certainly fun. And Spirit now going to be taking a fair bit of damage here. Cuz going to have to flash to get himself out of the way. Spirit in there, the flash forward are going to get the concussive blows, and this will be a dead Cuz. As Mystic also going to have to flash here towards the bottom side. Maybe didn't need to, as now Canna might be in trouble, but you can see that it's all about giving Keen a whole lot of inside track here on the top side. As there's the headbutt pole with Flash. Teddy picks up that kill with a piercing arrow, and T1 are abusing the bottom lane right now.
Yep. And Teddy continues to get further and further ahead of Mystic down in this bot lane. Jelly gonna be really late to return to the party. You see the pings going down onto the turret. Cloud Drake coming up isn't the most crucial either for T1 to fight, so if they want to sit back, let the Akali get more items, wait for the Varus to end up picking up more items, they can just do that. Cloud doesn't really threaten anything, and they do have to wait for those mid-game spikes to come in. As we take a look at this replay, Subjugate, a pretty nice ability. Trundle, nice champion. Jelly was there as well, so you can understand the intention of what T1 was trying to do there. But then Teddy quickly trying to seize his opportunity, and yeah, Mystic missed the spell shield.
Was
pretty
very
hard to
close
react
to picking that one up. As, there it is. Cloud Drake does go over to Afreeca, and now Faker looking to just try and disengage. Ocean Soul once again this game is certainly good news, as the beautiful Ocean Rift is now upon us. And T1 still in control despite losing that one. Jelly getting taken down very, very low as Cuz thinking about throwing out a barrel, but doesn't quite have it available just yet, as Spirit's looking to take down Bertha, and should be able to do so pretty easily as King deals with that minion wave also. Turret plate very close to going down. Keen's already collected one of his own. And the gold lead is by no means anywhere of an issue for the Afreeca Freecs, despite losing out on another death onto Mystic there towards the bottom side of the map. So able to take themselves down a couple of Drakes early is certainly good news for Afreeca wanting to move towards an Ocean Soul during this game. But as Teddy gets further and further ahead, it's getting more and more difficult to retain control of this bottom side of the map.
Yeah, absolutely is. And we'll just see. They're going to have to play through Teddy as well as Faker in this early to mid transition. Both the top laners have picked up their initial first item, Yumu's Ghostblade for the Jace. He'll continue building on into the lethality, and no one on the side of T1 actually builds any sort of resistances. So Jace is going to pack a punch this game.
Yeah.
Likewise, Lucian is going to be pretty okay against Afreeca's team comp. Obviously will suffer in the later stages a bit against the Syndra, depending on how All In manages to play. Although All In, he picked up Merc Treads in this game. So there's a lot of knockups on the side of T1. Item doesn't help out that much. And if Akali and Gragas is on top of you already, you're probably doing something wrong.
Yeah, it's interesting. And maybe just picking it up for the early magic resist.
It actually feels
not
like
going to get the most value.
His and Faker's boots are actually swapped around. Faker's the one with all the confidence, it seems, with the Sork Pen boots in Merc Treads. And, well, I think it might have to do with how confident they're feeling in this game.
Yeah, especially if you're a Teddy fan. This guy is so far ahead right now, over 30 CS in the lead, sitting at 141 here at 14 minutes is certainly a good clip when it comes to CS per minute. All In has been the most impressive one when it comes to farm. He was sitting above 10 CS per minute very early in this game, actually, as Mystic is going to meet Teddy in effort here on the top side of the map, and we'll look to see whether this Sivir can actually get going. Of course, can eat through minion waves very, very effectively. As this game goes on, is now Keen looking for Canna. Blade of the Room King comes down, and now Keen's going to try and turn it. A lot of extra damage there as he denies any follow-up there from Canna, who still has the culling available. But another engage like that, and it might just be a dead Lucian.
One difference between the Lucian build and the Jace build is that Lucian has longer sustain. Jace, obviously, way better in the joust in terms of dishing out all that damage. So minion wave in close proximity, Lucian is able to heal back up for the most part. Does also have those corrupting potions, Jace as well. As T1, they've rotated to the top side of the map. Gunblade almost complete for Akali.
Yeah, that's going to be a big power spike, and he's going to go back and complete it right now as Keen's on the bottom side. Spirit's going to make his way in. Canna might be in trouble here as they're looking for a dive. There's the flash immediately in the relentless pursuit to get Canna to safety.
All in?
As Spirit and Keen moving on over. Okay, he just dives over the wall, and Canna's just dead. I'm not sure what that was, moving back towards Afreeca, but Teddy's going to be able to take down this top outer turret, so no harm, no foul really for T1, but still just a bit of a whoopsie, one could say.
Yeah, I don't know what Kana was doing there just then, as now there's a lot of activity up here in top lane, and Mystic is very far behind on this Sivir pick. And when Sivir's behind, it really hurts. Any crit 80 carries that fall behind, it almost feels like they're permanently playing catch-up. And Mystic's also down in a lot of XP compared to Teddy. So for this Ocean Dragon fight, Faker, he has the Gunblade available to him. Varus is going to recall into, let's see what he uses, or what his recurve bow ends up being turned into. As first, let's take a look at this replay. This was one of the most bizarre series of events. Kana, he can just run to the left-hand side, but I think what he's thinking is that Spirit and Keen are running that way, and so he gambles and moves to the right, because he also probably expects that All In is crashing down on him from the north. But yeah, in the end, I think it's pretty understandable for him to move to the right. He guessed which direction they were going to go. And
it was always going to be a gamble, right?
Yeah.
And just, unfortunately, he picked red and black came up. That's just how that one sort of works. So that's okay. Canna still only down by 10 CS, but the real issue here is Mystic being so far behind. And if there's dives happening onto Canna, then that means that Mystic is still in a lot of trouble, who does have teleport and can come and meet this Ocean Drake fight as he's looking to head back now.
No mana. So even if she ends up recalling right now, she's going to have to then channel the teleport. That's a lot of time. Takes her a couple of seconds to replenish all that mana, but then she can channel the TP before she's full. and then have it by the time she arrives. This looks like T1 is actually too eager to start it up right away, and this is actually going to give Mystic more than enough time to get down here. And Teddy is going to go over, eat some fruit. I wonder what the fruit tastes like.
Honey.
It's like Gushers.
Honey.
You ever have Gushers?
No. I don't think that was an Australian thing.
Okay.
You
ever have Starburst?
I'm wrong, Collective.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, yeah, there's an engage. Keen is just straight up dead. Cuz is going to go down very low, but does have a stopwatch to keep himself alive as Fake is dashing around this fight. That's going to be the Trundle falling down. 2 quick kills for T1. And they should be able to convert into a Drake very easily and maybe even get some work done on this outer turret in mid lane. 3-0-1 now for the Varus as well. 100% kill contribution, a 450 bounty on his head and very close to the Rage Blade. This is a very scary Varus in this mid game.
Yeah, and T1, they are going to pick up the Ocean Dragon. Guinsu's going to be the second item, and that's going to be able to be completed super soon as well. So Sivir is always going to be about a level and a half behind, as well as an entire core item. Now, maybe she can change that a little bit, as Connor's just going to try to get all the CS.
Yeah, he's just dead. He knew that he was dead. As, the culling was, I think, channeled right there, right into Mystic, but he's fine. The door is a pretty powerful tool, and Mystic's going to be able to get himself kills. We have a look at Keen just getting destroyed.
Yep. Keen tries to flash away, and honestly, the setup right there by Cuz on this Gragas, really fantastic. The chains end up going over to the Trundle.
나 위쪽 돌아볼게, 위쪽 돌아볼게, 이거. 나 위쪽 돌아볼게.
It's just so good.
Good.
때려볼게. 공 볼게, 트런들 맞았고. 용 가자.
Let's go Dragon. And then I think they were about to say something about Herald.
Well,
And
Herald's
yeah,
not going to be an
was
option
weird.
here.
He was trying to hug her.
Yeah.
That's what you know. He just didn't want the minions. He wasn't interested.
That's not what we're about. We're not about killing minions here. We're about dying to Sivers. To try and get her back into this game. That seems to be the aim. Not bad at all. But not back in yet, as Mystic is behind close to 60 CS. Which is an absolute disaster. 37 ahead for All In, but he's only been farming. He's been doing absolutely nothing else, as you can see from his scoreline at 0-0-0. And Rage Blade has been completed here for Teddy.
I think I know what happened. Alice,
What happened?
Up in the top lane. So Lucian has been getting pulverized this game. He's been getting picked on. His eyesight's not really working that well. So when Mystic came top and Sivir was hitting him, he called out to Senna. Wrong person. Wrong person.
Yeah, it's not the right one. She's not in this game. She was on the bench. She got placed on the bench.
She's on the ship already. With Thresh.
Yep. The Harbor Master himself. And Gangplank. Gangplank's also on the ship, as is Misfortune. We've got a lot of pirates and boatmen. Pike's also there. There's a barrel, and Jelly's out of position. He's going to be the target there, as Teddy just rains a whole lot of spells on him. Effort's the one that picks up the kill in the end, and it's all too easy. Damn, Cuz is just a joy to watch on this Gragas.
Yep. Managing to get a lot of really important setups for his team. They're bringing them down really easy. As T1, even though they don't have the most stylish of an early game, they are managing to get gold where it counts. Currently at a 3,500 gold lead. Akali with,
okay. All in, on the board. Just going to get himself a steak dinner as the cat emote.
Oh.
Damn, dude. Don't do that in front of Cuz. Look at him. He's angry.
The emotes are some of the best additions that we've now allowed. Yeah.
Before we had to BM people with skins, you know, like when you're going up against T1, use the T1 skins against them, like that sort of thing. But that's really difficult against some of our other teams. It's not like you've got a Jin skin that you can utilize. Cuz is pretty damn good on this champion. The follow-up was also great, but Jelly had no way out. And this was here. All in, just seeing that there is a cow ready to die.
And I think what Effort was expecting was that Gragas would leave the cast a little bit longer, so Syndra wouldn't walk forward, but either way, he should never walk to the left-hand side. He just ends up dying. Take a look
Might have been looking at All In, trying to get a cannon creep, because I think he lost a cannon creep and instead killed a cow. So definitely good trade. Yeah. But sometimes you've got these laners that certainly tunnel vision on these cannons, which I appreciate.
Well, All In did locate the Archie. It's between the E and the T. And above the F.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of
no,
effort
he
to
didn't have
locate
ulti.
that.
He didn't have ulti. So he was just dead. I'm pretty sure.
And at
That's
this
fine.
point, yeah. 40 seconds till Ocean. T1 should be the ones that are getting it.
And Afreeca are in position, 30 seconds, and that will get them to Ocean Soul Point. But T1 still with some time to get themselves over here, and we know that Kuz has his eye in right now, has rushed towards his Zhonya's, which is already completed, and also has his Predator boots available as well, so he can get himself around exactly where he needs to be. Faker and Mystic both with teleports up, and so them chilling on the top side is absolutely fine. Keen pushing out this minion wave on the bottom side of the map, and Cannon does have teleport also, so he can catch it and move on over. But now the Ocean Drake is spawning. You can see Afreeca do have positional advantage in this area. Afreeca wanting Keen to get up here is now Spirit. Trying to get out of the way, but Jelly not going to be so lucky. Does go golden, but what are the options to try and get out of this one? Just flashes to get over towards Faker. Orbs aren't really going to find the targets, as now Faker with his Shroud down is going to be all right. Piercing Arrow, gigantic damage onto Mystic and Jelly. And now T1, they have control of this Dragon area.
Well, they're in total control of this game. Also, Afreeca missing a lot of HP on all of their champions, as it does currently stand. Kuz does take a little bit of damage, and okay.
There's the flash in. Pulverize only onto one, though, as Spirit's getting taken down relatively low, but there's the culling onto Keen. Jelly with the door is going to do some work, but so does Faker. Eliminating 3 people in quick succession. Make that 4 as the quadra kill comes down from the god of the mid lane. Now they should be able to move towards a Baron if they would like to. Teddy's very low on health, but he's got some lifesteal, and T1, they've taken over this game.
Yeah, and there's also 2 Honey Fruits in close proximity, and I think that's actually just going to be the game, Atlas, because this is going to be way too big of a swing in T1's favor at this point. Look at Varus's lifesteal. I mean, he is managing to slowly climb back up. Kana is slowly withering down the Ocean Dragon, and this is really good. Sometimes teams, they would overcommit members to the Baron, and then the enemy would respond trying to get Ocean, and then they could have brought it to Ocean Soul Point. That would have been scary. Instead, take a look at this effort. He goes in, Faker has enough space created for him, and then you take a look at the right-hand side, all in, he ends up getting killed, and then as Teddy almost dies, the Dragon says, not today, not for him, he's going to spare his life. Mystic eventually brought down by Faker.
And let's have a look at Faker's perspective here as well, as they'd started off this Ocean Soul, and you could see the Hex Flash coming down in position.
Going up.
위에 좋아. 시울 풀 있어.
다 잡았어, 쿼드로.
나이스.
바로 가자. 이건 나머지 루시안 믿으면 한 명은 루시안.
And then I think that was Kuz saying one person go to Dragon, and then he said Lucian go.
And I believe it was Teddy that
Yeah.
stuck around, but that's okay. He was in position. Totally fine. As Afreeca are back on the map, but now they're looking down the barrel of 2 Ocean Drakes on T1 and a 7,000 gold advantage for this team. Looks like T1 are hungry for that second place and want to make it as hard for DRX to send them there. As hard for DRX as possible to lock that one down. As Canna, he's going to clear out this bottom wave. And despite this not necessarily meaning that much for the standings, because of course it's not going to be in T1's hands whether or not they get that second place, even after a win here. It's still going to be based on what DRX does up against APK. This is all about what T1 can finish the split on as far as momentum is concerned. And moving into a gauntlet where it is like ride or die in these best of 5s, it's very, very scary. T1 are going to want to have the best footing as possible to get themselves there. And this is the kind of game that's going to really help out as far as mentality is concerned.
Well, in this game, T1 are just, they're so far ahead. It's not even close. And also, where the gold is allocated on the side of T1 is what makes it all the more problematic for Afreeca. Keen, yeah,
really
that was
Jelly also in trouble. That door, I don't think, is going to be sturdy enough. As another barrel from Kuz. My God, is there anything this guy can't do? As Teddy's frontlining, Jelly's going to go down. And this is just the game. And one Baron push, this is going to be T1 winning.
I mean, you know what? Faker coordinated it from mid lane via the FQs.
Ah, that's what it was.
That's just what it was.
Yeah. There we go. Perfect. As now Mystic fighting from the fountain. Teddy not too worried about it. And zap goes the cow. As Mystic, yep, Fake is on the fountain. And is going to be able to at least buffer the ultimate so that he dances around a bit more. But congratulations to T1. Pretty elementary victory there for them. But a great look from a team that was looking a little bit shaky. And my God, I just love watching Cuz play Gragas, man. I could do it forever.
Yeah, that was a complete stomp in game number 1. I gave Cuz the player of the game vote. He got the ball rolling for them time and time again. He set up so many plays in the mid game. His Gragas, it's always such a treat to watch. It's really nice to see him piloting it to such success here in game number 1. And now, moving into game number 2, T1, they're going to have counter picks available. They went into everything blind, and the best that Afreeca could do, not much.
Yeah, and I just want to talk about Cuz just for a little bit. His most played champion of all time is the Gragas at 44 games. His second highest is Rek'Sai on 23, which is the champion that he debuted on. But his all-time record on Gragas is 72%, 73% if you round up, with a 6.6 KDA. This guy is just insane on the Gragas. He is so damn good. So very, very excited to see Cuz at full force in this particular game. And it felt like there was absolutely nothing that Afreeca could do in the face of what Cuz was wanting, because he threw out a barrel, he threw out a cask, and every single time it was a pick. It was an objective. It was something gained by T1. So just expertly controlled there by Cuz in the early game, and didn't really feel like a game where T1 let anything go over to the way of Afreeca, and it was largely this Sivir pick that did absolutely nothing. It was just shut down by T1. Honestly, not Mystic's fault for the majority of it, because he was left high and dry because Jelly was over here, not really able to protect his AD carry.
Well, Teddy also having a really good game in the highlights here. We see the chains landing onto Mystic, who just really couldn't do much. He was not really set up to do all that. I mean, he never got the ball rolling
here, couldn't he?
Yeah, he couldn't. I mean, he could have ran away in this spot. He must know that effort is coming, but you can see that he's just sort of greeting. Keen and Spirit, they did manage to get something going here. This was the gamble. A lot of people, they'll say herder, there was a control ward there. That ward does not see around the corner because of the angle that it's placed at in the brush. So there's no way that Kana knows. And so he takes the gamble, and like you said, sometimes you bet on black, it comes up red, or vice versa. This team fight, another one created by Cuz on the Gragas.
I don't know why this highlight got in, by the way.
Oh, this was Lucian thinking that was Senna.
Yeah, it was the hug. Yeah. It's really nice. Beautiful stuff. As yet again, Cuz has decided that someone's dead. And this time it's Jelly. I just love it. His control is just fantastic. As All-In decides that he wants stake for dinner, picks it up. There we go.
Well, this was another one of the chaotic team fights. Everyone just spread thin, not really able to do anything. All-In locates the R key, almost manages to kill Teddy, but the Dragon thought that was unfair, turned right back around. He was not going to be a part of that. As Quadra kill came through, and then right here, I mean, this was a really decisive way to just end the game. Afreeca didn't need to lose the game over this inhibitor, but they tried to make a last stand and they got punished for it.
Cuz of that pickoff onto All-In was absolutely gorgeous to watch as well. I don't know, maybe I'm biased, something like that, but he outdamaged his top laner. He did double what the enemy jungler did, and this Gragas was absolutely outperforming everyone. Teddy also, massive damage this game, really nicely done. Shout out to All-In, who was sort of the best performing player on Afreeca's side, just not enough to get them over the line, and in the end, it was a 12,000 gold lead, 28 minutes, an absolute stomp here, a shellacking, if you will, for T1. And so we'll have to see who picks up player of the game after this break. My vote was over to Cuz. Absolutely, that guy was an absolute beast, but Faker also had a great game. Looks like we've got certainly a T1 that looks back in form on our hands in their final game of the regular season. That's brilliant, moving towards playoffs. We'll see whether they continue down that route as we get towards game number 2 after the break.